Yeah, we are live. So welcome Facebook world. Oh, and YouTube. Yes, because we're doing both together. So hi, this is Paul Bursey, and my co-presenter is
Leanne Moore.
and we're going to get started probably in about just under a minute, when the clock hits 4 o'clock in London and 10 o'clock in Kansas.
Yes.
Kansas.
You almost forgot where I lived.
Yeah, I did. That's because we move about quite a bit. So
exactly.
But how's your day gone?
It's going good. The sun is shining. It's going to be 80 some degrees Fahrenheit today. So it's going to be a nice warm day in Kansas. And I have a full day. Going to do another interview after you on cryptocurrency. So if anybody wants to check that out, they can come over to my personal page or my business page, which is Go Big with Leanne. So that will be very interesting. And if you're not, I know this is about health, but we want to, financial health is important as well. So it's good to educate yourself on, what's going on in the world. So if anybody's interested about cryptocurrency, come over to my page at noon Central Time.
I know who'll be your number one person watching.
Who will that be? You?
Dale.
Oh, yes. He is super interested in this topic.
I know
yeah. Right. And it's not too late. So that's a good news.
Well, we've hit 4 o'clock, so let's get started. And today's Facebook Live is Reignite Your Health Through the Colours of the Rainbow. That sounds quite grand, doesn't it?
So, it does. It sounds like a book. It sounds like we're going to write a beautiful book for children and adults.
No, it does. Yeah, I was just saying, but this is you can see. I don't know if you can see behind me. Can you see the couch?
Yes,
behind.
That's a great example.
Absolutely, and I just thought it'd be ideal to have in the background. So. This is quite important, this subject. It's not until you start researching it. I mean, we'll know bits and pieces, but it's not until you start researching the subject you realise how important it is. Right? This is huge.
Yeah.
It's not all the picture. It's not everything.
Right.
Because obviously we're going to be talking about things with colour. Okay. Yeah. As in red, orange, yellow, green, blue, white, brown, and we'll go through everything and try and do it in a simple way so that I can understand it, and we'll go from there. So really, I'm going to hand over to you first, Leanne, because again, you're a little bit ahead of me on this subject, so fire away.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I do know from personal experience. And then, I've been a wellness coach for over 15 years. So most of us do a horrible job of eating the rainbow because most of us were raised on maybe corn, potatoes, maybe green beans, I don't know, my personal experience, I didn't get wasn't exposed to very many colors. And so your habits start at a pretty young age. And so then you don't have the taste palette for a lot of variety of the colors of fruits and vegetables, but then also you don't know how to prepare them. So if you're one of those people that maybe only eats, a total of 5 different fruits and vegetables, you're definitely not alone. But if you're at least eating some fruits and vegetables, you're way ahead of the average American. So I think they say that the average American eats maybe 1 to 2 servings of fruits and vegetables a day.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is not great at all. We need to be having at least 5 to 6, but ideally more like 10 to 12.
10 to 12, definitely.
Yeah, which, 10 to 12 is a pretty lofty goal. But if you're eating real food, your fruits and vegetables become a really key factor of having your snacks and kind of filling that crowding out those other high calorie not so good for foods. So eating the rainbow can be fun and it can be challenging and all those things, but you're going to get the reason why it's important to eat the rainbow. One of the reasons is because all the different colors of fruits and vegetables have different nutrients, especially phytonutrients. And I'm not going to get too scientific because my degree's in psychology and I'm not a dietitian. I'm going to Paul may go a little bit deeper because that's kind of his personality. I'm more of a like, I want to give you some just real practical advice, and then we can kind of deep dive into a little bit further. But first of all, you have to be willing to add in a little bit of color to your diet. So, you want to make a decision for yourself that, especially if you're struggling with any health issues, it's definitely good to have that variety in your diet, and we can kind of go over the benefits, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. So super important. But those are the things that you're not going to know that when you're eating your fruits and vegetables. We can't see into our body. So those are things that you just have to kind of trust that it's doing its thing inside. But just eating the variety, can give you a little more energy. There might be some things that you actually can feel pretty quickly, but we just have to trust the process. So as Paul said, the colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, white, tan, and brown. So ideally, you want to get 1 to 2 from each of those groups every day. Which right there, did we lose some of the audience, Paul, just by saying
yeah, I think, well, maybe. I mean, look,
six groups, 6 color groups.
Well, I think first of all, before we start talking about colors, I think we should sort of just a couple of things. Yeah. One of the reasons why we're doing this, we know the current situation. A lot of people are having problems because they've got underlying health problems. Some people are having problems because the nutritional food is lacking probably every day. I mean, it does vary from person to person. There's people that take right up to 95 to 100%, and they've got some people that are right down and probably have less than 5%. And I think it's important for individuals to improve. I think that's the best way. Right. So everyone who comes on here will know whether they need to improve or not. Now, the key is we all need to improve. Right. Okay. So, should we get going with some colours?
Yeah. So you want to start with red?
Yeah. Do you want to take red and then I'll jump in and say anything you miss? Or
so
probably won't. But
yeah. Well, there's always things to add. So, and I do have some cheat notes over here because there's a lot of information. So a lot of things I can talk, on the fly on, but other things I like to have some notes that I'm going off of. So that's why you're going to see me looking down, audience. But some examples of red, obviously apples, that's an easy one. And I always recommend, not everybody can afford to buy organic, and that's totally up to you, but at least wash your apples, with a nice, I use an Orex rag that's kind of bumpy, scrub it down. But you want to clean your fruits and vegetables pretty well. So, but another one that you may not think of is kidney beans, falls in the red category. And beans are a great source of all kinds of things for us. And they're a nice filler. They're higher in calories. Radishes, strawberries, sweet red peppers, tomato. So all those fall in and there's probably more cherries, fall into the red category. So every day you want to think about how you can plan to have at least one red. And like Paul said, we're not looking for perfection here. We're just looking for a little bit of progress. Because anytime you make a little bit of progress, that is an awesome thing. Because I know very, very few people that have a perfect diet. And then the other thing you have to consider is everybody's perfect diet is going to be a little bit different, because if Paul's going to train for a triathlon and I'm just, trying to train for just overall health, then your nutritional needs are going to be a little bit different. So, and sometimes you're going to find even fruits and vegetables, some people don't tolerate certain fruits and vegetables as well. So,
I was just going to say, you just say about tolerating kidney beans. I absolutely love kidney beans. Now, the problem for me is I've got a problem that I don't get rid of the iron in my body, and kidney beans have a lot of iron.
Right.
So it's important that sometimes you have to do a little bit of research yourself.
Right. Yeah. And the thing about some foods is you don't necessarily have the negative impact from it, like right after you eat it. So some days it does take you a little bit, and we can talk about like an elimination diet another day or food sensitivities or anything. But someday it may be 2 days down the road. And so you think it's one thing and it's actually something else. So you're gonna have to be your own private investigator of, what works for you. But some of the benefits of the red food are anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. They help your DNA health, your immune health, vascular health. And so, some creative ways to, get them in. You can chop them up, throw them in a smoothie in the morning, throw them in your salad. Beans can be added to just about anything, kidney beans, and it doesn't really, you can put it in your salad, you can put it in your goulash, you can, when I was growing up, I'm pretty sure beans are added to almost every meal because they stretched out the volume of the food. So, you can have and the other thing that we'll talk about on another day is, how much raw you should eat and how much fresh and cooked and things like that, because it does different food preparations does change the makeup of the food, but that's a whole nother topic. We're just going to stay with the colors. A watermelon's another red food. So watermelon, this time of year in Kansas anyway, we're getting ready to have some really nice watermelons, rhubarb, grapes, lots of different things that you can add into that red color group to get those nice benefits of anti-cancer, anti-health, and just, the immune system that we're all trying to make the best of it. So I think that's probably enough on red.
You can add to my favorites, guava and cranberries. Oh, and don't forget red pepper. I don't know if you said red peppers, did you?
Red peppers, yep. Yeah.
Red onions. I know some of these foods they go from one group to another. Yeah. So yeah.
Some of them are going to count for more than one thing.
Also great for sun protection. All the reds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good. So you want to take orange now, Paul?
Yeah, orange. Yeah. Obviously the most obvious one has got to be carrots.
Yep.
And I think I mentioned that a little while back about carrots and the war and things like that. So I'm not going to go into that. But yams, mangoes, and pumpkins, they're on my list. Have you got any other ones on yours?
Sweet potatoes is my favorite orange.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I've only ever had that twice, sweet potatoes.
My goodness.
But I do plan on having a lot more.
One of my favorite things to do with a sweet potato, like I had it for lunch 2 times this week, is I bake up 2 sweet potatoes like on Sunday night, and then I just mash them up in my bowl, and then I have sweet potatoes and broccoli together. And it's for me, I love that combination. But sweet potatoes can be added into so many different things, and they are full of good nutrients for us. So yeah, that's probably my favorite orange.
Yeah. So I mean, for basically what you're after really with the orange is the beta carotene, and what it basically does, it obviously changes, or however you want to describe it, it goes into vitamin A, that's called retinol, and we all know what vitamin A does. It's great for the eyes. So and the old some of you might know about macular degeneration.
Yeah.
So again, if you just think eyes, that's what it's for, or one of the biggest things. So
yeah, orange is probably one of my easier food groups to get in, because I love oranges too. Oranges is there, and sweet potatoes. So those, and mangoes I throw in my smoothies. So a lot of this is pretty easy to get in if you throw it in a smoothie.
Yeah.
So
you can, on the first two, the red and the orange, it's like anything else. Can you overdose on them? Yeah, I suppose so.
You'd have to eat a lot to overdose on them.
Yeah, you do. Which, if you've got, and I've got a bit note here that says the key is a varied diet, and what you're after is synergy, which means you mix all these things over a couple of weeks, and you're getting the full spectrum of color.
Right. And one of the things when you're thinking about shopping for color, because there's only 2 in my household, so we can only eat so much in a week. So usually I try to buy a decent variety each week, but I kind of rotate each week. So I might buy different blueberries instead of cherries or something. So just think about that. It doesn't, even if you're getting them in, if you can think of a whole month, Because if you're a single person or just a small household, you don't want your food going bad. I mean, you can freeze it, but not all of us are good at, prepping and thinking that far ahead. And you certainly don't want all your nice fruits and vegetables that you purchase to go to waste. So a little bit of planning is obviously going to be super important to making this happen. But yeah, and try and just maybe set a goal to, try one new thing a week, or try it prepared differently. Because, we don't want people always like, well, I'm bored. Well, I'm pretty sure that you ate the same things pretty much your whole life. But now that I'm asking you to eat fruits and vegetables, all of a sudden you're bored. Well, fruits and vegetables the variety of how you can prepare them and how you can consume them is off the charts. So it's just a matter of us making a personal decision to be, a little more creative and not wimp out in the process. Because it is much easier just to eat junk food. It's easier to eat processed food. So, eating the rainbow does require a little more effort up front, but you deserve it and you're worth it. And if you use food as medicine, you're gonna not need as much, medicine down the road, hopefully. So we want to help, everybody do as much preventative maintenance as possible.
Oh, absolutely. I think with all of this stuff, I mean, what we're trying to avoid, we're trying to avoid scurvy. No, I'm only joking. I suppose if I was on an old pirate ship,
right,
come into it when they had to carry their fruit for many a month.
Yeah,
and but no, I think in this day and age, you're not going to not in the Western world, you're not going to get scurvy. The biggest problem you're going to have, and you heard me talk about variety, was not eating McDonald's one day and KFC the next.
Right.
or whatever other ones we do, like In-N-Out Burger and all them type of things. But that's not what we're talking about. Now we all know, I don't want to go off at tangents, but you can always have a little cheat. That makes life interesting.
Yeah.
You can have a little bit of candy now and then. You can do, and I don't think you should totally shut everything out.
No.
And that's the other key as well. So but as a general rule, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I don't like to use the word cheat when I'm working with people. I made a choice to have, a piece of cake. Because in my opinion, we're trying to create a healthy lifestyle. So it's all about just taking personal responsibility. And I think our words are powerful. So having a day where you make choices that are a little more loose than than your normal structured choices, that's fine. Or if you want to call it a cheat day, that's fine too.
That's right. Just interject one thing in here. It's totally separate from the actual thing we're talking about. Is as people are watching this, if you feel it's useful, please share this. Like the page as well as the actual video itself, and please comment. Let us know you're there, so that we can answer your questions or say hello to you. And it makes it more interesting. And and also Facebook loves a little bit of comments. They love comments,
right?
So,
and then
we love them as well.
Yeah, and we can answer questions after we're done. So if you have a question that pops up as you're listening, just type them in there, and we'll jump back in. So we probably should move to yellow. My turn.
Yep.
Yellow. So yellow: bell peppers, corn, lemon, spaghetti squash, popcorn. Yellow. I already said that. Yellow squash. So those are just to name a few. So lemons can be put on salad in your water. Bell peppers are pretty easy to, add into just about anything you're cooking, and they can be raw or fresh. And then, of course, I think bananas should fall in yellow.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Which bananas is, that's a super, super easy one.
Great for potassium.
Yes, and I think most Americans, anyways, eat bananas on a pretty regular basis. So
I do.
Yeah, I was out of bananas this morning, so we didn't have a banana. Ginger root is another. And so some of the benefits.
That's so healthy, ginger.
Yeah, ginger is really good for you. Asian pears are really good. Pears are really good in salads. So if you've never had pear in salad, that's a great way to add that in. But they're good for cognition, eye health, heart health, skin health. So some of these, crossover, but just in general, anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer,
Yep.
or across the board, all, fruits and vegetables. And I don't know what the numbers are around cancer these days, but it's pretty frightening of how many people are developing cancer. So anything that we can do that prevents the inflammation and the cancer properties, then I say that's a win. Pineapple is another one that falls in the yellow category. Peaches, papaya, yeah, and papaya.
It's never ending, is it?
Yeah. I mean, you can, you can find a list of these, probably anywhere on the internet. But just, if you don't have to decide if it's a yellow or orange, just eat it.
Absolutely.
You can have a checklist, and a little food journal that tracks, what you're doing, so you can have a visual. It's always good to have a visual of how you're doing on your goals. So it's a nice little checklist. And when you eat a blue, you check it off. When you eat a yellow, you check it off.
You could have some fun with it. You could
have a ton of fun with playing around with getting your fruits and vegetables in. And, again, back to kind of keeping it easy for you. If you buy all frozen because that's what works for you now, that's fantastic. You don't have to jump from, if you're, eating McDonald's every day, to buying fresh, organic, and prepping all your food. Hey, David, thanks for tuning in. So baby step your way. And, some people say frozen actually captures the nutrients better than some fresh stuff because, like where I live, anything fresh, if I'm buying it from the supermarket, has been on a truck for a while. We do have some farmers market type stuff, but that requires a little more effort and time. So meet yourself right where you're at today. Don't judge yourself. Do what you can every day. Make your plan simple and just strive for just a little more improvement. And the next food group is green, which, Paul, you get. And there's a whole ton of green stuff. Green is
absolutely
super easy to get in.
All I would say is David Adkin, welcome. Now, David, I bet you can comment on here, David. I bet you pay attention now to these colours. Okay, that's all I'll say. He'll know why.
Yeah.
And also, if Mohammed, welcome also. You've commented, so great to see you and others here. And so greens. Let's talk about them. Now, some of these I can't eat because I've got hemochromatosis, which is a genetic disease that doesn't. I don't assimilate iron.
Right.
The human body should hold 5% of iron that it eats and get rid of the other 95%. My body tends to keep quite a bit. In the long term, it's life-threatening if you don't do anything about it. So anyway, that's beside the point. Spinach, kale. Do you know what collards are? Collards.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I didn't know what that was. I didn't have time to have a look what it was. But I think alpha, avocados, another thing that come under that. Green tea, would you believe? And it is quite healthy. It's not as healthy as people make it out to be, believe it or not. It's as healthy as brown tea. I really did my homework on that. We also got broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage, and there's lots more. And I eat quite a few of those.
So, I love Brussels sprouts.
Oh yeah, roasted.
Yeah,
as a kid, I hated them.
Yeah, me too.
Broccoli, never heard of broccoli as a child. Now, it's important also how you cook them.
Right.
Like you mentioned it earlier, Leanne. Broccoli, once you're simmering, it's 8 minutes, no more. That's it.
Right.
Otherwise, it gets too mushy, and you want them reasonably firm. So that's just one of many. But again, pay attention to how you prepare them as well. So now, what can we tell you about that? What we're after is the folate or folic acid. That's what we're after, and it builds healthy cells. So it's very, very important. Now, bear in mind that what we're talking about here is the colours. Now, the colours basically refer to omega-6s as well, because that's plant-based, okay? So it's only part of the story, okay?
Right.
Even if you eat a lot of these colours, you need to balance the other side up. And we won't talk about the other side today, but we're talking about omega-3 and those types of things. So very, very important. What have I written down here? Now, we talk about green. So converts carbs into energy. That's what green does. Very, very important. Again, carbs are important, but they're not as important. You've got to have them, but a lot of people, especially athletes, probably take too much carbs. Okay, they're not getting the right balance. Because if you think of people on diets, they're told to avoid fats and all this type of thing. That's not. It's about balance.
Right.
Trust me, it's about balance. So what else? Folate intake is extremely important during times of rapid growth. Now, Can you think of 3 times when you're talking about rapid growth? Leanne, can you think of 3 times?
Well, off the top of my head, I think baby, teenage years, and I can't think of the third one.
Well, yeah, you're right. It's pregnancy, infancy, and adolescence.
Okay.
So those 3 are very, very important to get your green. My mum used to say to me, "You've got to have your greens." She didn't. We're talking horrible greens, but she wasn't talking about spinach. I don't know what these greens were. They weren't lettuce. They weren't. God, and she stewed them, boiled them, and they just got mush. No, she was a good cook. Apart from that, So thank you, Mum. But so vitamin C, B's, E's. That's yellow and orange. I've looked at the wrong bit.
That's all right.
Anyway, yeah, that's all right. I mean, it's obviously the other thing, and I had to look this up as well. Indoles. Do you know what they are? Indoles. I've never heard of that before in my life. And that regulates the aspects of bacterial physiology. So I know that sounds a bit thing, but if you think about it, basically spore formation, resistance to drugs and viruses. So again, the greens are very, very important. Viruses, yeah. Where have we heard that before? So the other thing is lutein. That's the other big thing. And basically, this would affect me as well because I spend a lot of time on the computer. Now, after a certain time, the blue light, as they call it, as the sun goes down, affects your eyes more. All right. Now, the lutein protects them, but it can only do so much. So again, if you're on the computer working in the evening, put them on night. There's the ways you can switch it to night vision sort of type of thing. I don't know what the word is, but so be aware of that. But lutein, massive, huge. So again, there's white. What one's the next color?
And the next color is purple and blue.
Purple. Oh, purple.
So blackberries.
Purple and blue are my favorites.
Cabbage.
I won't speak, so you can sort of bring in that.
Yeah, cabbage, eggplant, grapes, kale, plums. There's actually purple potatoes, raisins, black or purple rice. So yeah, blueberries. That's an easy one to. Blueberries are good. Blackberries, cabbage I love. So the purple cabbage is great in salad. So that's those are probably a little bit more challenging for the average person to get those in because they're not as common. I guess probably most people grapes, that's pretty easy, and blueberries, but the other ones maybe not so much. But again, they're going to be good for anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, heart health, cognitive health, and dates are great.
Love dates.
And if you
do raisins come under that as well?
Yep, raisins do. Right. Yep. So dates, if you're needing to sweeten up your oatmeal or something, I mean, just dice up one little date and I mean, it sweetens up anything. You can make a good raw granola with dates, and dates are kind of a magical fruit. I think they're a fruit that a lot of people, they're compact sugar, so they're not something you want to eat a lot of, but they're a great natural sweetener. So I usually have a big container of dates in the refrigerator from Costco that I just dice up and add into things to sweeten them up. So But yeah, that's one that may be a little more challenging for people. I'm looking at some ideas. You can, make a stir fry with your eggplants, potatoes and all the colors. Stir fries is a great way to get, 5 or 6 colors in one meal. And then, put some of this stuff in your shakes and you're good to go. If you're a smoothie person, then a lot of this stuff is easy. I put spinach in most of my smoothies because you don't really taste it. It does change the color of your smoothie, but it doesn't necessarily change the taste of your smoothie. So yeah, that's blue and purple.
Ooh. Have we missed one? Have we missed a huge one?
We've got the last color, or are you still talking about purples?
No, I'm still talking about purple. I think it's purple.
What is it?
Resveratrol. Very important because you get it out of grapes. When they talk about drinking red wine,
right?
Resveratrol is one of the. It's magic. It's lovely stuff.
Yeah.
And now, when we talk about red wine again, we're talking about small amounts. We're not talking about the whole bottle, which I've done probably a few times in the past.
Yeah.
But resveratrol is really health boosting. It's got the potential to be superb. I mean, it's actually classed as one of the superfoods found in red wine. I've got it written down here. So it may help lower your blood pressure. That's one of the things. Not too much, obviously. And there's lots of other things it does. Lengthens your lifespan. But it lengthens the lifespan more in animals. But it does work a little bit with us as well.
Right.
Protects the brain.
Yeah.
And that's, we all need that.
Yes, definitely.
It's not just about doing crosswords and Sudokus. You've got to take the food to ease it. And it may ease joint pain as well.
Yeah.
When we say may, what that basically means is that nutrition is a very young science. So it probably means it does, but it's not been 100% confirmed yet. I think that's when they say may. So yeah, that's that side, and it's I love that side. So what color we got now?
We've got the very last color, which is white, tan, and brown. I guess.
Yeah, this is a good one as well.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do that?
Yeah. So
yeah, let's go for it.
Your turn. You want
I didn't know. I mean, when they talked about the colors earlier, I knew some of the colors, like yellow, lemons, bananas, whatever. But so this one, I didn't. What does that mean? And I was just thinking, lentils,
right?
Lentils, chickpeas, alder beans, actually fall in this one, peas, and peanuts.
Cauliflower,
fall in this.
coffee.
Yeah. Again, there's so many. I mean, there's different lists as well. I mean, it does. Coffee's a big one, and coffee in reasonable amounts is healthy. Same as tea.
Yep.
Okay. As you're a man and you get older, you don't want to be drinking lots of tea and lots of coffee.
Right.
Okay, that'll give you a clue because you don't really want to get up during the night.
Right. Okay? Yep.
So if you're going to drink these, drink them early in the day.
Exactly. Sauerkraut's another powerful, white, and I'm going to make my own this weekend. I think I was going to do it last weekend, but my home remodel project got me all out of it. So sauerkraut's a great one for gut health, and you can make it yourself at home pretty easy. So you can Google that, or we can talk about that another day. Mushrooms are another one, and I think there's like 141 different types of mushrooms or more. So depending on where you're at, you're gonna, and if you go to a health food store, you're gonna see a lot higher variety of mushrooms.
What's the one I saw about 5 years ago, and I never stopped seeing them? Shiitake mushrooms.
Yep. Yeah.
I always remember those. Very, very healthy.
Yes. Yep.
They're in demand, actually.
Yeah.
Obviously from Japan, but rich in B vitamins. And they say that pulses and beans and all that are the most underrated food on the planet.
Right.
So, again, it's, have some fun with putting food together.
Yeah.
Don't make it boring.
Right.
play across the board as far as colours is concerned, and that I think is immense. So yeah,
make it into a little game. I mean, that's, you know, and if you're having you know, friends over and you want to impress them, you can make a beautiful fruit and vegetable tray, you know, and make it into any kind of design, and people love it, and have some little, you know, healthy dips for them. You know, because hummus, it falls into the white food group. So just be creative, have fun, don't worry about perfection. Baby step your way into a healthier you, and you know, you're always going to have your, you know, your setbacks, because we all do, that's life. And then just pick yourself up and move forward. And then the other thing, when you're thinking about eating color, try to, you know, research what's in season where you live, and then try to eat that. That automatically rotates your food if you're eating what's in season. But that may not be possible, you know, year round, obviously, but you can try, and that makes it, you know, another little scavenger hunt. You can Google what's in season, you know, in Kansas, the month of May, and you can make that, okay, this is what I'm going to try to incorporate into my diet this month. And yeah, have fun with it. Get a buddy involved, you know, get on our page and talk about, you know, if you find a great recipe, share it with us. You know, we love to have that interaction with you. So
I would like to hear, because actually I've got I'm part of a club. And yeah, so I don't know how I would do this. I can't to breach club rules, but we have a recipe book. We have once a month with 18 to 20 recipes in, and if anyone's interested, let me know, and I will see if we can work something out. But I would have to get permission. Can't promise anything, but please give me a shout. Yeah. The other thing was just you know, pay attention to what you eat. Have fun, as you mentioned also, and yeah, let's go eat lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of food.
So I think, you know, our call to action today, amongst just, you know, liking our page and those things, is challenge yourself to try. Let's say over the weekend, because it's Friday, try 2 new fruits or vegetables that you haven't tried, you know, and try to pick one from maybe a color that you're not real strong in. So if you don't eat a lot of whites, you know, try to pick something from the white group, or, you know, the orange group or something. And that's my challenge to you, and that's pretty simple. That's only, you know, one on, I'll give you today to prepare. So that's one on Saturday, Sunday. And then just build from there to see if you can incorporate, you know, getting, you know, 1 to 2 in from each color each day.
Absolutely. Mine's going to be eggplant and asparagus.
Those are good ones.
Yeah, I've had asparagus once. Didn't really enjoy it, but I don't think I gave it a fair shake.
Yeah. So, yep. Well, that's all I have for today, Paul. Would you have any?
Yeah, no, I'm done. 38 minutes into it. Yeah, we're definitely done.
we're overdone today. I think we gave a lot of good information, though, that people can take advantage of. So,
yeah. Thanks for those people who I offered the free coaching to, that put their hands up. We haven't got any more free coaching positions at the moment, but stay tuned, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so if you need any help, anything answered, come and speak to us live. I've got my own Zoom channel, so, you know, send me a little message on here, and we'll, you know, set up a little chat on Zoom. Yeah. So, all right, fantastic. All right, have a great week, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Whether that's live or, you know, the recorded bit, you know, on a replay, and have a fantastic weekend.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
See you later.